Hi everybody and welcome to the Flute Practice. Today we are going to be looking at some really nice breathing exercises. We're going to be looking at some rather unusual exercises and exercises that I only learned to practice quite late in life, but have really transformed the way I breathe, my breath control, and my ability to do stuff and pieces that I just couldn't do before. So let's go check it out. So one of the exercises that I really like to play around with is kind of exploring your lung capacity and realizing that there are kind of different levels of air that you can have in your lungs. So you can have like a full lung capacity, so you can really tank up fully with air, but there's also kind of half full and a quarter full and 3/4 full. So now, of course, this is no exact science. We're not like exactly measuring this, but just playing around with this. And what you can do is you can just take in a nice full breath. So you're really full, and then you can maybe try and let out half your air. Stop at the half point, and maybe now tank up to about 3/4 level. And then breathe right all your air out again to the 0. Then tank up a quarter. Then let it out again. Then half. Then let it all out again. Now fully breathe in. Now let out 3/4 of your air. So this exercise, I'm making it up as I go. I'm not, exactly measuring it. But maybe follow that little exercise and just feeling these different, hypothetical levels of air, and that you don't always have to be completely full, that you can also have just that quarter or just the half, and that you're able to control that air, that you're able to say to your body, I'm only going to get this much air or a little bit of air now, or I'm going to fill all the way or just half. And same, I'm only releasing half that air. I'm releasing 3/4 of that air, whatever it might be. This is such a simple little exercise, but it is so incredibly beneficial for really exploring the full capacity of your lungs. Another really nice exercise to do is the tanking up exercise. Now this is particularly useful for those passages where you kind of have to snap breaths and you never have enough air, and you've got to kind of just tank up air beforehand, and then you get through this really long phrase. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is start off by just playing a nice long note. And then either on the same note, or you can kind of improvise on any of the notes, you're going to tank up short breaths. So just start off like that with the exercise. So you're taking a long note, then you tank till you're full, and then breathing out again. So let's just try that one more time. And you can kind of explore and experiment with this, and you can kind of make up your own exercise here. So you're just always tanking up, working in different kind of lengths of phrases or different, lengths of notes before you have to breathe again. So sometimes you want to go for a longer phrase, and then very short phrases where you're kind of tanking up. Philip Graff has a really nice exercise in his book Checkup, doing exactly this, where it's kind of written out for you. So I'm going to post a link to that book below. It's a really, really, really excellent, cool thing to practice. And until I saw masterclasses with him and kind of experienced him teaching this, it never occurred to me to practice this. And what a difference it has made to my playing and my breathing. Suddenly those nasty bits like under Prokofiev, fourth movement, there's that really nasty little bit at the end where you really have to tank up, tank up, tank up, tank up. And suddenly I could do it, and it wasn't a problem because I've practiced the skill. Something we so often don't get comfortable with is that last bit of air, that end breath. And once again, it never occurred to me, but we need to practice playing on this last bit of air. So a really great exercise that I encourage you to practice. Just exhale all your air, and then we're going to play until you really have got nothing left and the sound disappears. So you really want to exhale and try and get as good a tone quality, as great, as decent in any case, a tone quality as you can in that last little bit of air. So you can use whatever exercise. I like to use the Tough Knuckle Bear #1, just because, it kind of rolls off the fingers quite easily, but just breathing out. You can even just use a simple scale. the important thing is to really push it to the end. My temptation there was to stop beforehand. I finished the scale and then but I actually still had some more air left. So really squeeze it right out to your last breath. What this does is eventually you get more and more comfortable in this area, in this kind of emergency area. And when you're playing your pieces and you're running out of air, instead of kind of panicking and going into this like, I have no more air left, your body kind of is used to this feeling and it knows how to control and adapt and work with this last bit of air in a calm, constructive way. And you've refined your sound in that emergency part, which means your phrases and your phrase endings are much more reliable and just much more of a pleasure to play. You don't like go into this blind panic when you get to the end of your breath. I think it's really important for us to kind of give space and time to breathe properly. So what I recommend you do is when you're playing your pieces to really stop in between phrases and really allow yourself to just expand and open up properly. Now, a really nice little exercise that you can do is you almost let out all your air or get to the end of your phrase, whatever you like, so you can play until you're really out of air, and then to really hold your stomach muscles in quite a sort of tight position, and then just release them. So you're not going to think about breathing in, you're not going to think about anything, but just in that moment, you can even give a little extra squeeze of the stomach muscles, which we normally would never do, but this is just an exercise. Give a little extra squeeze, and then all you're going to think about is just releasing them. And what I really like about this is it gives you the sense that breathing in is this completely opening, freeing, releasing feeling. It's not like an action. It's really a kind of a reaction. Just you let out all the air, squeeze these muscles, and now just let them go. And you'll feel everything just it reflexively kind of opens up. It's a really, really nice way to experience the breath, and it's really great. And you can really incorporate this into your pieces. So whatever you're busy playing, let me think, what piece am I going to play? Now I stop, hold here, and just for example, trying to been a few years since I played that one, but really just focusing on taking good breaths in between. And if we can train the feeling of really taking good, like productive, releasing, freeing breaths in between our phrases, we slowly start to develop this habit naturally and instinctively, and we don't have to think about it anymore, and we just naturally take those breaths. The one breath exercise that I saw a teacher once teaching, and I think it's an interesting one. I haven't used it personally all that much, but I think it's an interesting one. Just this feeling of really taking good breaths is she does this kind of like, so you'll play a little melody, then you'll stop, you put your hand like this, and you really breathe in. So it's really breathing in, and then you carry on. Till you're at your end. I'm not sure what it is about this kind of putting your hand there, and it's really thinking of that kind of whole opening feeling. But for some reason, I don't know, it does kind of help. So give it a try. It might really work for you. It might not at all. But it's an interesting and useful little tip, I think, for practicing breathing. And I think the important thing about it is it's kind of like almost an action that forces us to stop and really take a proper breath in, which does help. For those of you who are curious about the strange little like noises going on over here, I have my little friend. Let me just show you here. Roxy. She's not super happy about the flute playing yet. I'm hoping in time she will get there. She tends to kind of like move her ears like that. If those of you who are on my Instagram account, you've seen the video of her doing that. She's kind of getting into it, but now she kind of sometimes tends to howl and stuff. Also tends to eat her food. She decides eating her food is a great time when I'm wanting to film videos. So she's my new little friend. She lives with me in here, and she'll probably be, in and out of some of the videos. So hello everybody to Roxy. Hello Roxy. Oh yes, you're fluffy. Are you my fluffy girl? Are you my fluffy girl? Oh yes, your baby. Oh yes, my baby. Oh yes, my baby girl. She loves to chase her tail. You're being weird. You're being weird, bro. What's it? What do you want to tell me?